to attend. And so we live stream all of these to YouTube. That's going now. And the last thing I need to do is read through our hearing script. That basically just covers the procedure for the hearing. And then to your presentation. So this is the September 29th, 2021 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I will preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20210128. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing unless a party has submitted evidence or testimony in the form of writing prior to the hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would then have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll give our plans examiner, Walt Mueller, an opportunity to add anything to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to the application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected in 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who's not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties, we'll do our best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some tech deficiency that prevents us from meaningfully continuing with the hearing, I may continue or postpone this hearing. That'll be at my discretion. Okay, last thing I need to do is to swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, you need to be sworn. So I'll do that now. If you could take yourself off mute, if you're on it, and then raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. I do.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. All right, Adam, the floor is yours.
All right, great. All right, let me, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to, let's see, desktop, share. Okay. Let's see, I actually want Acrobat Reader. I'm trying to share open system for crying out loud. Sorry, I got to do some system preference here. Zoom.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the variance package in front of you? Okay. If I can't figure out how to get this to share, I apologize. This is some.
We can. I can try and share on mine as well.
Okay.
Assuming I have everything.
Yeah, I'm using my personal computer. I don't usually use Zoom on this.
What are you looking to show? Just site plans or?
Yeah. I wanted just to help you get oriented on what exactly we're trying to do. If you can go to page 7 of the variance package, just to show some photos as well as the elevation of the proposed addition, just to give you a feel for what we're trying to do.
Okay. One sec here.
I don't know why it's not share screen. Sorry about this. Open system preferences, security and privacy to grant access.
I got it if you want me to.
Okay.
It's easier when you can navigate it, but
yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah,
the plan or the pictures.
Let's look at the photos just real quick. So as you can see, we've got a screen and porch in the backyard that we're proposing to take off and turn into a 2-story addition. The back porch is about 8 feet, and we're going to go back another 5 feet. And so the plan or the permit was rejected because of the side yard setback. So if you go back up a little bit to this plan, so there was a version of this sketch in the plans that were submitted, but they did not have those side yard dimensions on them, the 6'4" and the 5'10". And so Walter, when you were reviewing it, I think you just had to, since those dimensions were not on the print, you had to do your best to just scale the drawing And so when we got the rejection letter, the architect I've been working with, Jane Gray, went in and added those dimensions. And so the initial rejection said we were 1.4 feet under min for that side yard. But I think it's actually less than that. So our lot is under min to begin with. It's 45 feet instead of 50 feet. And so there's a regulation that says we can take 1.5 inches of credit for every foot that we're under. And so if we're 5 feet under min on the width of the property, then that gives us 7.5. I think you rounded up to 8 inches. So the minimum setback is 6 feet 4 inches, which the current northwest corner of the house, that's 6'4", you can see, that's what it is today. But you can also notice that the house is cocked a little bit with respect to the property line. It's at about a 2-degree angle, so that when we go back that 13 feet, now that back northwest corner is 5 feet 10 from the property line. And so instead of being 1.4 feet, which was in the rejection letter, we're saying it's actually more like 6 inches. So instead of 6'4", we're at 5'10" from the property line. So still under min, but less under min than I believe was in the original rejection letter, just because we didn't have those dimensions on there. And so we're asking for the 6-inch variance. The reason why I'm trying to avoid it rather than just kind of moving everything over 6 inches, I'm trying to avoid more cost and time to have the architect redo the drawings. And I also think it would be weird to have kind of like a 6-inch jog over on that line of the house. So that's why we're requesting the variance. In the language of houses in the interest of the city, the valuation increases the real property value. There have been multiple other houses on our street that have done additions, and we're trying to do the same just to stay in the house. We love the street, and even though we've got kind of a small yard, hoping to make it big enough that we can just stay here indefinitely.
Okay. So the addition will be sort of flush with the existing setback of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? But will it extend greater into the setback than the front of the house? So, sort of this back corner will be further over than the front because of the 2-degree angle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. And you're saying that the amount of setback will be 5 foot 10 inches at this corner?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. But you believe that the total setback is actually the minimum setback is what?
It's 6 feet 4 inches. So for an SF6 zoning, you're required 7 foot minimum, but you get some grace if your lot is under min width. And so Walter specified that zoning. Let's see. Yeah, lots that do not comply with the minimum lot width, the side yard requirement may be reduced by 1.5 inches for every foot. Such lot is less than the minimum lot width. So we're 5 feet under, so we get 5 feet times 1.5 inches, so 7.5 inches under 7 feet. That's what we're shooting for. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, is that consistent with your calculations here?
That is correct.
Okay.
And because that 6'4" and the 5'10" dimension were not originally called out on our site plan, Walter had to estimate it, and you can see it's 1 inch equals 10 feet. And so since we probably should have called those out on the original site plan, just because they are very close to min. So when in the original rejection letter, he said it looked like it was about 5 feet from the property line. When we did it in the architectural CAD software, it was 5'10", so a little bit closer to the minimum.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to add now, Adam, before I give Walt an opportunity to chime in?
I mean, just in general, we feel like this is kind of within the spirit of the law, grandfathering you in. The fact that our house is at that angle is not really something we can control. So, you know, hoping that, you know, the 6 inches is okay. Verbally spoken with the neighbors on that side, I know that's maybe hearsay, but they were fine with it. They're obviously not here to contest it. And
On that side, you mean on the west side?
On the west side of my house, the 3328 neighbor.
Okay.
I talked to him a few weeks ago, you know, let him know the postcard's coming in the mail, and that's what it's about. And so,
Okay.
yeah, you know, it's a small house and a smallish addition, and so every square foot matters, and so we're trying to avoid cutting down the addition by 6 inches, and also just going through the rework loop with our architect.
How much further will the new addition extend past the screened-in porch now?
It's like an extra 5 feet, roughly.
Okay, got it. All right. I think that's all the questions I have for now. I'll give Walt an opportunity to jump in here.
Yeah, David. Most of what he said is correct right there. And we do have a little bit of an issue with the dimensioning on there because it is not an actual site survey that was conducted. And the terms approximate was used several times in the description that they feel like this is the approximate setback. So we'd like to keep the variance approval at what it was originally, and then make as part of that approval that a site survey is conducted by a licensed surveyor and demonstrate that the new addition is a minimum of 5 foot from the property line. I mean, that's because we really don't, that is just a plot plan with estimated dimensions. And since it is so close, we would like to have an actual site survey done and make sure that that is a minimum of 5 foot from the property line.
Okay. Adam, do you have any, I noticed that Walt recommended that as a condition of approval. Do you have any objection to doing a site survey with a licensed surveyor?
I don't think that'll be a problem. I mean, it's more time and money before we can get the project started, but if that's what we need to do, then we can do it.
Okay. I mean, Walt, isn't that typically a requirement for any project that happens?
Yeah, anytime we have anything this close, we would require a site survey. So that's just an additional requirement here, just to make sure we have it. Since we do have a disputed number of what the variance request would be, this is actually to safeguard him if their estimate was wrong and we gave them a 6-inch variance and they need that extra 1.4 foot, I'd hate for them to have to come back to see you again.
Okay.
Okay. I'm looking at the cages right now, just trying to look at properties in the area. Adam, would you say that the addition will put your house at a size similar to other properties nearby, either on the street or in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I would say probably 2/3 of the houses on our cul-de-sac are 3-bedroom, and you know, the rest are 2-bedroom. The one right down at the end of the cul-de-sac might be a 4-bedroom. They're one of the ones that just did a 2-story addition recently. So
Gotcha. Okay. Any anticipated adverse effects at all for the neighbors or the neighborhood as a result of this addition?
no, I don't think so.
Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think that's all the questions I had. When was the home built?
1928.
All right. Okay. Anything else, Adam, in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today?
So I just want to make sure I understand the next steps, and I'm gonna take some notes here on my end. So we need to get the survey done. Does that mean the permit is still in limbo until that gets done?
Yeah, we'll need the survey as part of the permit application anyway. So And David's gonna explain, it's gonna take him a couple of weeks to get this going anyway, so.
Okay.
Even if you were to have to back up and punt and make this a different size, we'd still gonna require the site survey anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so Adam, I'm going to approve this. I've reviewed this, and based on the testimony here today, I'm going to approve the variance of 1.4 for the side setback. What I need to do is write down or is to formalize that decision by way of a written, official finding of fact and everything like that. That typically takes me about 2 weeks based on the queue that I have with other cases.
Okay.
I try to beat that, but that's just about right. And then once I finish that, I send the decision via email to both you and Walter, and that gives Walt the go ahead to start issuing the permits.
Okay.
Well, is there anything else he can do between now and actually getting that written decision, knowing that it is going to be approved?
Just the site survey showing the actual dimensions to where the new development's gonna be placed, so.
Okay.
Because we'll have to have that prior to issuing the permit anyway.
Can he apply for the permit before that happens?
He actually has the permit in, I believe, already for this.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. Yeah.
So the surveyor will give me a report, and then we'll include that with the application. Walter, is that?
Yeah, that'd just be, what they'll do is submit that as an addition to the application.
Okay. And then we'll just need to make sure if we need to true up the architectural site plan.
Yeah, generally what you do is you can give him your site plan of what you're going to build there and tell him that you need to have this dimensioned on the professional survey, and they'll dimension that for you.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay.
All right. If you have any other questions that come up in the meantime, Adam, feel free to reach out to myself or Walt. Happy to answer anything. Also, if you just want sort of an update on the status of the decision, where I'm at with that, send me an email, and I'm happy to get back to you and let you know. As soon as I finish the decision, I put it in a PDF and I email it out, so you'll have it just moments after it's complete.
Okay. Sounds great.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Great. Thank you, David.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Adam.
Walter.
Thanks.
All right, talk
Appreciate
to
it.
you later. Bye.
Have a wonderful day, guys.